Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from Conscious Business Zone. Today with Renee LeBeau. Hi!
No.
I know, I got to stop doing that. It's kind of corny, but I am excited. I'm excited to introduce all of you to Renee's work. I got to meet Renee, and you might not even remember that you met me at this time, but I was searching the memory banks here, and I met you when you did a sound healing with Miles Nichols at Naropa. Was that 8 years ago, 10 years ago? Do you
Yeah,
remember it?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, it was awesome. And he did the guttural thing, and you had your bowls, and you're going around to all of us. Anyway, so I met Renee as a sound healer a long time ago, and there's a reason why we call her a cosmic oracle, because she really has access to realms that most people don't. So, Renee, welcome. So tell us about being a cosmic oracle. Let's start there because we're going to go all sorts of places. But
Exactly. Yeah. Um, so an oracle, I'll start with the energetic framework of an oracle and looking at it from the perspective of something that existed, was lost, and is now coming back into form in a new way. Hence the cosmic perspective. But an oracle is a being that has access, as you said, to realms of existence, creation, source, through a particular specific lens. It's different than a psychic because there's a multiplicity. There's never one. It's not an answer. It's not a destination. Exactly. So did you get what that brought up?
yes, well, I don't like that.
Exactly.
Because, okay, so I think of the oracle from the Matrix, where do you remember it? Where he goes to her and he's asking her, am I the one? And they're saying I'm the one. And she just answers him in riddles almost.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so I'm going to use the oracular expression as the gateway to the mystery.
Ooh, beautiful.
So you are the question. How do you get to being the question? You stay in a stream where you are always asking your infinite self and you. It's like kirtan. It's call and response, yeah?
Yeah.
Constant in the question, being the question, allowing the space of creation to be the flow and conduit so that you don't get stuck in the matrix. The matrix requires consent.
Oh, wow. And
So
you don't know that you're having consent. That's the bad news.
well, and so if we look at all the characters, Neo and Agent Smith are mirror images of each other, yes?
Right.
Okay. The Oracle and the Cosmic Child at the end of the first movie are having a conversation about where's Neo. Neo becomes a part of the isness of creation.
Oh, they called him in. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Okay.
So there's different versions of liberation. An oracle, prior to a particular historical time frame, would allow you to excavate what is no longer relevant, what is not aligned with the essence of your being, right, even beyond the construct of soul, because soul is a construct. It's useful. And then a lot of people sit at that precipice and will not go into the unknown for the same reason that you said, I don't like that. Well, it's just uncomfortable, yes? It's unfamiliar.
Well, because as a seeker, you know, if you're seeking, you're seeking resolution, or you're seeking answers, you're seeking a more comfortable location to be in, all of that, right?
It's an addiction.
Oh, it is.
blow it up. Yeah, I'm going to blow it. I'm going to blow it up. And it's a useful addiction until it isn't. So if it becomes the source, so we've created, there's been an agreement that has not all been agreed upon, but there is implied consent to create a polarized reality. So we get to this or that, either or. Now then we create a binary field that's digital ones and zeros. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 1 and the 0 and I'm going to bring it together and I'm going to say and, 1 and 0. The third trinitized expression, 1 and 0, 1 and 0. So would that give you more possibility in your life?
Of course.
Would that allow you to expand into who you really are?
Of course, that's fabulous. Yeah. And you drop the judgment too, because all that energy of resisting is wasted energy that you could use to co-create with the energy instead. Exactly. And you're blocked. No, that's not for me. Nope, that's not for me. So okay, so I got a bunch of questions from what you just said. So okay, so I know ego is a program. I know the polarity, and I'm using dimensions. You may not use that terminology, but I am, because that's what I use. But so third and fourth are still polarity. But when you get to fifth, which is fifth and beyond, is more co-creating with love. And if I thought the soul was the elevator to that, but you're saying it's a construct also. Okay, so
all right, so remember a kaleidoscope? It's that tube. You put it in the light, and the wheel moved. Right, so for me, the oracular expression is a kaleidoscopic reality. Every time you move, the view shifts.
That's beautiful.
How you interpret it is where we create. So making meaning, that locks us in. So the journey would be, forget who you are. You until that becomes a bit of a handicap, because it'd be like riding a bike with training wheels. And all of a sudden you get to this place of, well, what if I, as a multidimensional being, a drop of pure source, have access to everything? Would you be willing to enter into that? It's an arena, it's an exploration, it's an activation, it's awakening. It's very different. It's not seeking, it's awakening and constantly awakening.
So how do you, how do you work in that, all that is that only in a meditation time, or are you walking it, right? You're personally walking it, right?
Breathing it 24/7, 365 days, yeah.
So, and then how do you find 3D then? Isn't it? Huh?
I don't.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm gonna reframe that, because it's really important to me. If dimensions are frequencies and they're not stained glass windows, we're going to get the lead out. We created these constructs. It's very Saturnian. Get the lead out. It's alchemical. Get the lead out. What is lead? It's a precipitate. So an alchemist doesn't focus on the lead. So when you think about the journey most people have been on, at some point, they've spent so much time focusing on what isn't working in their life, the lead, the toxins, the blah, blah, blah. They literally start looping in the programs and patterns of what's wrong, what's not okay. And they spend their entire life focusing on, and the universe keeps going, okay, you want that? Okay, more of that, more of that, more of that, more of that. And usually it's some type of crisis, an internal. So the regulating system has to shift.
I see.
So the regulating.
And is that from this? See, okay, I might ask this in a way that might not align with your language. I
Oh,
love
right.
language. Um, if you look at your life as a journey to a soul, we're in school
Mm.
and we are learning and absorbing and then sharing with the collective everything we learn. If we came in this lifetime, this incarnation, to learn a certain lesson, and we have these childhood traumas and all these things happen to us that I call it a hero's journey or heroine, to get through them, to process through them, and then show others, or get through them and just release it, and then it changes their whole family DNA family line. If that is the case, how does that, if there, so you're saying if the soul's a program, then that, even me saying my soul mission isn't important? Or how does, it's my program that I chose in non-physical, right?
So it's a construct. I didn't call it a program. It's a template.
Okay.
Useful. Yes. Is it the entirety of you? No.
No. Okay.
So if we go beyond, I'm going to use the Metatronic field, which is very much, most people would say it's the sixth density. For me, that is where spirit becomes matter. It's a regulating system using light, sound, geometry, language, the four pillars of Akana acoustics.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So our relationship with that, what if the regulating system is asking to be expanded upon? Some people will choose a tiny trickle. Some people will choose a more expanded view. Some people that are looking to achieve ultimate liberation, like me, are going to blow the whole construct apart. It doesn't mean you impel that or impose that or project that onto someone else.
Right.
It's the next step in until you stop functioning in incremental reality. If spirit and matter are not separate, you no longer require incremental reality. Perception. Now notice what just shifted. Everything just shifted. The room.
I know. And I'm also going, okay, what does that mean? A lot of times when you say stuff, I just sit there for a few minutes and go, okay, I know what those words mean. But did I just miss a little piece of oh, okay, this is great. Zach's on, so this will be wonderful to have. So, but when you said incremental reality, isn't that what we're in anyway?
No, you're choosing that. That's a very, okay. So what if, okay, you're choosing to engage in incremental reality as though it's separate from incremental reality is the matrix.
Okay.
And there's a hyperdimensional matrix. We're not going to go there.
Yes, I do. Yes. Okay. So, okay. So Renee, though, your work is through sound and light. When I met you, I mostly knew you as a sound healer, but your work has really matured into alchemy and coaching and business coaching and all sorts of levels of co-creating in a whole different way.
Well, I'm actually gonna reframe that, Kathy, because I was a secret agent since I was 5. So what you perceived is your perception. I was never a sound healer.
Oh.
I had to fit into a box so that the people in the Boulder bubble would actually show up. So there's a bit of a energetic requirement until there isn't the requirement.
I understand that totally, because otherwise you would have been invisible. I get it.
Well, and I was invisible for a long time. I started clearing energy, ancestral trauma on the land when I was 5.
Wow.
I started clearing entities when I was 5. Now, that's not a talent and ability if you are experiencing terror. So do know that what I had to do was kind of look at how is this informing my field? And Earth to me is not a school. You don't come here to have lessons. That's a perceptual field until it isn't. So imagine if you came here to explore and discover who you are as an aspect of creation, source, sentient intelligence existing in your human body and beyond. Oh, exactly. Now, isn't that exciting?
Yes, it's so liberating. I mean, everything you do, again, a lot of times after we talk, I have to process because you're using, well, it's expansive conversation, and it helps me get out of the limits of my imagination of what's possible. Because what happens is I think there's some sort of strange comfort to being in the box, except for when I choose not to be. So when I'm in my day-to-day, in Fraggle Rock, I'd be a doozer, where I'm publishing books and I'm doing websites and I'm doing this and that. I'm a doozer. And that's my little box. And it does give me joy. I like it. I really do like it. So can I tell you what some people are saying? So it's not about me, but because this is great. Don's here. Don Lynch is here. Zach says the first thing he said is metaphors abound in this space. The less I am, the more I become. Easy if you already get it. Sure, the kaleidoscope analogy has efficacy with regard to the collective, as the infinite projections in summation make up the whole of experience. I'll just camp out and listen, and with total judgment, ha ha. Humor, folks, levity. Or is that levitation? Okay, so anyway, and then the next thing he said, my current patent has everything to do with decomposing the matrix. Use the matrix for fun and profit. Okay, so anyway, he's got some more things, but we'll wait. So explain a little bit about Akana. I'm going to show your website real quick so people can see. Your website's beautiful. There's music on the front page for people to get an experience. It is sublime. It is a way to transport you to, it's almost like a soul retrieval or a retrieval of your, I know you don't like that word soul, but anyway.
No, let's use that. I didn't say that. Isn't that interesting?
I saw your face.
I would say that I'm kind of like an animated emoji. It's not that I don't like it. It's that you're projecting your point of view onto me, which is how the matrix got created.
Okay. So enlighten me and everyone about the different way to look at this, because
absolutely,
I'm struggling to represent it correctly.
And what if you're not? So first off, there's no judgment. Secondly, we've been trained and entrained, conditioned to behave in a particular way. Now, I retained a sense of vastness, which I called coming in backwards, upside down, because if it's an either or choice, I chose to maintain my connection to the vastness all the way out to the infinite verse, a made-up name. Omniverse, made-up name. Multiverse, made-up name. Cosmos, universe, galaxy, planetary, collective. So I'm going to come in, and ultimately I've got to do the same thing, which is become an embodied expression of my awareness. I'm just coming in it this way, whereas a lot of people on the planet, not everyone, because there is no everyone, came in with a self-reference, and they're now going this way. Same journey. You meet at a place where spirit and matter are married. It's a marriage. Yeah. And so at some point, what we have to look at is, how are the programs running? Are we willing to undo the programs, patterns, implants, imprints, impelled points of view, impositions, codes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I said, ooh, lots of words.
Well, they're energetic. They're streams of energy. My language is intentional.
I know.
And I can knock people out talking.
Yes,
Like
yes, you can. I can vouch for that.
how is that useful? You know, I mean, I've got products also that are a representation. So when I asked the universe, I was actually functioning as a business oracle for someone that was in a particular type of astrology, and he was moving out of that into a version of astrology that had never existed. That is a catalyzing agent and focus, and that came in to assist with every aspect of shifting the energy stream for him to show up as the truth, the expression, the expanded, and to be able to say, this is what I sense. And then the question is, what's the next step? What are the creations that wish to be born into?
That's
Yeah.
where juice is. That's the alchemy in the juice.
Yeah.
So Zach said Renee is living non-local and is able to escape the phase alignment, which means her awareness is as expansive, expansive as she is able to dissolve into the all that is obvious. That's where the good stuff is. Escape the karma dramas. Express as your local facet. Uplift the whole, moving along now. And Dawn said, I believe that.
So we've got three T's. So I'm going to look at alchemy as a Vesica Pisces. I'm just going to use a geometric form that everyone's seen. And by the way, it's the MasterCard symbol. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
People go to MasterCard to create money that they don't have, to borrow money from someone that doesn't have the money in order to create money.
And it's Vesica Pisces, it is, those two circles.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got two knowns, you've got this circle, you've got that circle. You now begin to overlap, which creates the birth portal. And the birth portal can be something specified. However, that's contrived. What it really is an unknown. And you are basically infusing that birth portal. Now, is it my will, divine will, when you dissolve out of that and you ask for creation, sentient intelligence to be the informer, then the paradigm shifts. The alchemy is an expression of sentient intelligence.
Of course.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And are we capable of that? Yes, everyone is. Is everyone going to choose that? No. They have the potential to.
Well, when we say that the human is now ascending embodied, is there a tipping point of number of humans that should, well, not should, that not are required either, that are needed in order for a bulk of people to go to that higher realm, to function from that higher realm? Again, my construct words, sorry.
Well, if this reality is a kaleidoscopic reality where your perceptions create your reality bubble, how many reality bubbles are there?
Zillions.
So at the moment,
even within me.
Exactly.
So the critical mass, he said, question mark, the veil thins, that Dawn's asking. Is there a critical mass? Is there? No.
Now, so in the reality bubble of what we've been told, and a lot of this to me is a projection of ancestral awareness prophecies that were accurate in the timing they were given. As an oracle, I can honestly say that I've had to look and clear a lot of that in my own field and in others in the collective, planetary and beyond, because a lot of those are now limitations.
I'm getting a input right now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, when you said that, it was like, here, listen to this.
Yeah.
And
Now, were they accurate in the timing? Of course. Can they be distorted? Absolutely. There's a lot of distortion in the ascension program. So can we get clear in maybe it's descending, becoming who you are, achieving a sense of balance and wholeness. And if you radiate that, wouldn't that change everything? I kind of get the planet's okay. You know, she's on her journey. You get to come with her or not.
right.
And how many different versions of Earth are there?
Kaleidoscope.
There you go. Parallel streams. Yeah.
So what about time in all of this? Is everything's happened in the present, but you have access to every different experience that you've had in every lifetime, both ways, future and past. How do you see that?
For me, that would be a bigger conversation because I literally experienced being split across timelines in a way that created greater fractalization and compartmentalization. So fractals are useful until they're not.
Okay.
Parallel streaming is always happening. However, the embodied awareness would allow you, much like a video game, to be an avatar and be able to choose what avatar is appropriate to achieve the alchemical resonance.
Huh.
So you could call that a result.
Right. Right. So someone put, you two look like sisters, and Dawn put scarf deficiency.
Oh, well, you know.
Oh my God, that's
yeah,
so.
it's true. You know, I actually reduced my wardrobe 2 years ago to fitting in a suitcase, and I got rid of the scarves, but I have a big thing. My sarongs disappeared too, and that was disappointing. But here, I could put this on, but it's really, it's funny, you know, Kathy, you and I have actually had that comment before.
They're just pulling our leg. Okay, so Zach says, time isn't separate. It's just another aspect of dimension and vibration. Yeah. And he says, I routinely have gone, I think he meant gone forward projection in time in my job. It can be done. Well, I think I do that a lot too. Yeah. In fact, that's the game, kind of, is seeing the end and having the joy of getting there and playing with it while you're getting there. I don't. Yeah. So tell me.
Linear time is a construct.
Right.
Okay. Right. So if we all agree, then we can agree to how we engage with it, which what you just said is playing with it. I'm playing with linearity, and I'm also accessing non-linearity. The quantum field of everything exists in this moment. So that's an option. Does it open up everything? Absolutely. And it requires that you rewire everything, including your brain. It's a huge brainwave shift.
So, but I open the Akashic records, and I open my connection to my higher self before I do all these projects. So I'm here and not here, and using that expansive mind to bring in for my clients' work. So, and that's what I've been calling alchemy. I don't tell them I'm doing that, but that's what I do. Oops, I just told everyone. Anyway.
And that would be the other part of what I do. It's a secret and hidden. All of a sudden, it's not secret and hidden.
Oh, yeah, every once in a while, you go, "Oh, I can't believe I just said that." But Renee, tell us some more about your process, because I'm curious. I know you said you just got 5 new business clients, and I want to know because this is Conscious Business Zone. Exactly. And I would love to get you 5 more new business clients from this conversation. So what is it that you find is the best, well, the connection between who you are as a conscious business owner and what you do, how you show up, is so intertwined that any personal work that you could do with somebody would affect everything anyway. But do you want to? I'll shut up and you speak.
So essentially, anything is a relationship. There's a lot of heaviness in that word. So if I'm relating, there's a conscious relating through business.
Right.
And if people had learned and come in with an aspect of busyness where it keeps them busy and it's separate from them and it creates a monetary stream until they retire and then they can show up and do what they want, it's not aligned. And some of us saw that at different times. I never saw that that was actually valid and accurate. It was a contrived process. I don't function in process at all. So there are 3 T's. And I can meet people. I can't meet them in the first T any longer. I'm honest. There's transformation. That was for me. It's not any longer. It's arduous. It's effortful, useful, not useful for the conduit stream that I became and are becoming. Transmutation. I'm right on the cusp of leaving that one.
Oh.
Okay. Transmutation. Snake shedding its skin doesn't look back. The snake has no point of view. Snake sheds its skin, continues on. Outgrows something, continues on. And yes, Zach, I'm using metaphors. I'm very acoustical. I'm very clairaudient as well, if I want to use that term. Now, transcendence is the liberating principle. Transcendence is the alchemy of creating the third unknown expression and not referencing the past.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how does, because that conversation came up yesterday even about releasing the past and not being in judgment of what is showing up right now and just being present with it. How do you then show people results?
Okay.
If you,
it's also letting go of the future. So if you come in, it's sort of it's so the exercise, it could be CrossFit, and in Boulder it would be CrossFit, because Boulder's a very active dynamic. It has a lot of interactive dogmatic structures. And so I came in as a dogma buster. It was the most unkind experience I could have ever imagined. And besides the lumps on my head, you know, and which I have a lot of hair, so it hides it, it would also create an energetic impulse to say, is this really true? Is this true for me? How can I show up and be the liberating aspect of creation that I know is possible, and weave in a new quality of expression into the tapestry of creation? The tapestry of creation includes business owners, entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs are fabulous at the ideas, their vision in. They're usually horrific at the implementation. So it requires getting a team and having that team come together seamlessly. So it's a relating. That is an alchemical journey. It's a process of alchemy of saying, okay, here's the vision. How do we contribute to the vision? How do we participate? What are the rewards? What are the compensation? What's the exchange? And ultimately, are we willing to support each other in this agreed upon relating? It's really a relating container. Business is an entity. The business is an entity.
Yes, it is. It's a being. Yes, it is.
Exactly.
And I don't realize. I don't think a lot of the people I work with quite get that, because yes, I totally agree. So Renee, though, when you're working with a business owner, you obviously have one-on-one conversations with them, and you can do it virtually like we're doing right now, or you could do it face-to-face. Do you give them like homework to listen to your music? Because your music is transformative. Well, this way you don't have to do the transformation part. you could just give them your music.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, so part and parcel, it would be different for every person. So I could say in the initial phase, what brought me to Boulder was a job as an expediter, a contract, getting a project that was a year and a half behind, on schedule in 6 months because the shuttle was blasting off. No pressure, right?
A lot of pressure.
Well, yeah. So the alchemy would be the catalyzing and getting a system that didn't work. So I took a look and just said, okay, great, the system doesn't work. I'm going to create something entirely new. There are military constructs. So I've got to find a way to finesse the energy so that it flows in streams to create an outcome that has never, ever, ever shown up before. Humor is a big part of it. It's also the brainwave shifts.
Okay.
Okay. So in that construct, aerospace was very effective at showing me how to engage with an ineffective system to create results that benefited the collective, the planetary. For me, it always goes beyond, but in the aerospace industry, it wasn't a beyond. I certainly understood why a toilet seat costs $50, though, because, you know, by the time you have to jump through these hoops, well, you can create shortcuts. The first thing you have to bypass is people's guttural, instinctive response that they're being threatened, right?
Yep.
So at some point, if I'm me, I'll come in and I'll basically call it out. And I'll say, it's Ball Aerospace. We were all given commemorative jars. It was amber, it was this big. And I walked in, shipping and receiving, and basically said, there's a lot of torque and tension. I get I'm a project person in your space. And I just want you to know that I'm not after your job. I'm not entirely convinced I know how to do my job. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I'm winging it. And I'm going to use my commemorative ball jar to put pennies and spare change in for my retirement account. Exactly. Everyone blew apart. The reality of being an outsider, an outlier, changed in that moment. Now, I didn't predict it. I didn't script it. I was available. And then you have to pause and just see what happens. In being a cosmic oracle or an energetic oracle for an astrologer, it was different. However, the outcome wasn't known. It's guiding, it's suggesting. The most recent experience is with an entrepreneur who owns restaurants here. So we're looking at of the restaurant. We're looking at what the entrepreneur visions, the people engaging, the food, and this particular restaurateur sees restaurants as an adventure.
Yeah.
So with that, there's a lot of space. Now, one of his places is absolutely dialed in and designed. It's a sanctuary. It's a space where you go and you just feel nurtured, nourished. The other space I walked into, I gave him a read and he goes, okay, what can we do? That's the conversation. What can we do? I start with him, then I go into the space. Because I'm here in the area, I physically go in and I assess it. And then I bring the people in, the three primary people in, and I look at where the energy is not flowing.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. And in this particular case, I do some educating. I talk about open doors, portals, entities. And all of a sudden, they're aware that the energetic drain, the financial drain, the feeling tired, the stuff moving, the I don't want to go in that room and oh my God, get me out of here. And the people that are attracted in and the weird things that happen all shift. I allowed them to be a part of the process so that I'm educating, informing, and allowing their resonant field to shift. It's a morphic field, right?
Right, right.
So the restaurant, the owner, the primary beings that I call guardians of space,
Uh-huh.
a piano that is yet to be moved out of this space. If anyone wants a grand piano, private message me. I know a good one. So again, it's that whole thing of the space is asking to become resonant with the vision. We get together, we vision, we shift what isn't, we bring in what is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful. So when you do this, you're doing it right in the very moment. Do you do some of this beforehand, or how do you prepare, or do you prepare? No, you don't. So that's a little different than my process, but interesting. Interesting. And
Yeah.
so because it's energy, that means there could be an instantaneous change, right?
Exactly.
Yay.
Yeah.
Like that.
I would say that initially, early on, when I did sound events, I tried to prepare, and I would be all set up, and all of a sudden it would go. And it's like, and that's what I hear laughter. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's me again. That's me trying to direct it, control it. I'm trying to control it. And for me, it was also a level of responsibility. I've changed that to responsiveness. Responsibility was heavy. I felt responsible for the well-being of everyone, the well-being of the space, the well-being of Boulder, the well-being of the planet, blah, 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 blah. Now, is that a program? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It runs a lot of us, yes?
Yes. But you can't be more married to an outcome than the people that you're helping. That's the challenge of it too. So
there are people streaming all sorts of conversations.
yeah, they are. It says no need for comparison. That is a duality concept. There just is a state of being and hopefully a higher one. And the control moment, gyros failed on worldview 4. What's up with that? I guess it wasn't ball as the prime this time. I don't know, it must have been something with ball aerospace. I don't know. Zach, you might need to explain that to us. But okay, so Renee, let's go back again to some of your products. Could you show some? I had them all on Saturday, and I don't know what I did with them because I was excited about them, finding them again. And
so I've got them here, and I'm very proud of all of it. Maybe I could do it. Maybe I'll be really bizarre and do a chronological. All right. So one of the things that I was asked was to bring in the energetic expression of creation through what I call the heart of creation, which is what Akana is a conduit of. So it is the aspect of creation that got pulled out of the Metatronic field.
Okay.
Okay. So if Metatron as a function is that energetic space of spirit into matter, it would include everything.
Okay.
So Metatron's Heart is a CD that I created with the help of a acoustical genius, a brilliant being who is based still in Boulder County. And without him, I would have never gotten this done, because he was the one that said, yes, Renee, we can map out sound into geometry. What would you like to create? And I said, well, we'll start with Metatron's cube. It's a sentient intelligence, and it's going to grow people. It's going to allow them to grow. And it required my voice opening up to allow language that had never, ever, ever shown up on Earth. So there was a lot of tension and torque for me to do that.
Okay.
And so one of the practices is for people, when we first launched this, so I couldn't get it out into form. I created it, it was mastered. I toured for a year and a half because I wanted to sense what it had the capacity. Plus the post-production was not very comforting to me. That was not. The creation of it, love the creation. The post-production required skills I don't have. You have them. I don't. So that was a game changer. After this, I actually, my base was in Santa Fe, and I got to collaborate with a lovely group of, I got to collaborate with a lovely group of people in amazing resonant spaces So at Santa Fe Soul, I did ongoing events there. And I also met Mystic Measures. Jennifer and Jim Kinney were based in Santa Fe. They had a drumming circle, and we created 3 CDs.
Wow.
And they're a trilogy.
Lift them up a little bit. Can't see.
So we've got, the first is Unveiling.
Okay.
We recorded it at Santa Fe Center for Spiritual Living. It was a live event that got turned into a sound meditation.
Okay.
Jennifer, Jim, and I. This one happened on Halloween, Samhain, the portal of where the veil is thinnest. The second one in December, Cosmic Awakening. So this was December 28th, 2012, just after a rather large cosmological event.
Right.
And the third is Emergence, another live event turned into a sound meditation. This one happened spring equinox of 2013.
Okay.
So not intended, however, they all sort of became a trilogy. You could move from one to the next. The instruments are amazing. There's descriptions, soundtracks, sound clips on my CD, of every CD on my website, and my website's about to be up-leveled. The last CD that I created in Santa Fe was with a delightful man named Rick Bastine. We created Sonic Spiral, again, a live event that was a representation of the realms of creation that had been forgotten, hidden, removed, misinterpreted, and we invited them all into the realm of creation through the sound instruments and the voice being used.
Beautiful.
And Rick has a really incredible, he's got an amazing ability to use his voice and the instruments. We collaborated, and it was seamless, and we created the CD through a mutual friend, and David Michael Tardy is an amazing engineer. So this one basically was the end of the Santa Fe era, and then I created, with the help of a couple of amazing artists, videographers, 2 DVD sets. Both took place on a piece of land called Star Dreaming. It's outside of Santa Fe on the way to Madrid. Now, sorry, I want to call it Madrid, but it's Madrid, New Mexico. I know, it's really odd, but it's Madrid. And this is a beautiful place that if you ever go to Santa Fe, it's you make an appointment and you sign up and you go and you view alchemical labyrinths of creation. It's just a beautiful design, and so I was able to use that as a video location.
Wow.
So the Oracle is basically me live streaming. It has to do with Metatron's heart, the heart of creation, alchemy, and beyond. It's really a beyond. Acoustic Alchemist is a 2 DVD set and includes a live event, Q&A, the prep going into it, which most people don't get how much goes into the event.
Yeah. Before
the event, during the event, after the event, all of it. So the DVDs are available in physical form only. Everything else is, you can do downloads.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Okay. And so do you start most people with the Metatron cube transformation work, and then, I mean, you don't do any of that with, like, if you were taking coaching clients right now, do you, well, you have to connect with them and see where the gaps are?
Well, first of all, I don't call it coaching.
Okay.
I can't call it coaching. It's an alchemy process. It's synergy. And so what I'm assisting with is facilitating awakening. So a conscious awakening, a sentient awakener, a catalyzing agent. I can use certain terms to create a legal representation, something that is perhaps less limiting or allows me greater view. Coaching doesn't. Coaching throws me into the mix of, there are too many people calling themselves coaches for me, and my background is huge. So did I begin with Metatron's cube and Metatron's heart? Yes. And what I've noticed is that the energy stream keeps shifting. So I am always allowing the people that are right on the cusp of the next thing. So the Metatron's cube became the Taurus then opens up to the spiral. The spiral includes the ribbons, the bubbles, and at some point it all dissolves. Those are the beings now that are showing up, whether they know it or not. They may not verbalize it. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. But the reason why I asked is I wanted to give our listeners an opportunity to see how you could help them. So you basically would, they could contact you through your site.
Yep.
And then they could experience some of their sound clips on your site, so they could experience a little bit, see if they want to buy that. But the one-on-ones, or I don't know what to call them, so I'm calling them that.
So synergy sessions. I also do remote clearing. I have a remote clearing program where we, I do a clearing remotely with no contact at all.
Okay.
And it's a monthly fee. So there's a lot of ways that I engage. It's about to be increased. I do sound events as well, Acoustic Alchemy. So there's lots of ways for it. I'll be offering online versions of both the sound of activations and some type of webinars soon.
Okay. So if people want to connect with you, the website's the best way, or sometimes on Facebook, what's the best way for them? Just the website?
The website is fine. Facebook is good. I have a YouTube page as well that's about to. The Oracle was on there for a while, and I'm just going to take it down and just have previews and clips. It's going to get utilized. Any way that people want to find me is perfect. I would prefer they use the website, and I apologize. It hasn't been remodeled yet. It's in the process, hopefully in the next 2 weeks.
Yes. Okay. So with that, is there any people are saying wonderful. They're getting wonderful benefit from what you're saying. You're up-leveling everyone that's here, and hopefully everyone that's going to be hearing you on the replay will also have that experience. But is there any little notes of genius that you want to, besides everything we've already given us?
Well, what if everyone is a creative genius? The greatest gift is being able to be invited on to participate with something like this, Kathy. And also meeting the people that you've brought in. I mean, I don't know that I would have met some of the people that are very instrumental in that, in live streaming and allowing a marketing platform that includes the beyonds.
Right. Well, but it is, this is the time for people that are awake enough to realize that they're co-creating with the ethers and do something delightful with it. That's the thing. And so this is a chance for all of the people that I've known that are masters at it to reach a market of people that need your help. So thank you so much, Renee, and so much fun. It's always fun to giggle a little. Yeah. And they said we look like sisters. That's what crack up. But anyway.
We heard that at the Ions event as well.
Excuse me?
We heard that at the Ions event as well.
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, that's very interesting. Huh? Yeah, that's very cool. Well, Renee, thank you so much. Everyone here, thank you for listening. And please do yourself a favor and explore this information more. You will find yourself in an expansive state that is absolutely delightful and a opportunity to be connected to all that you are. So, and that's my soul mission, is to help as many people as possible wake up to their divinity. So thank you, Renee. This is part of the gift. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to sign off now. Thank you, everybody.
Beautiful day.
Bye.